Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Postgame Report on YouTube. There's no official name for what we're doing. We just shoot this. We even have a cat as a new host. I mean, Postgame Report, which is full of amazement and ingenuity. You know, we look for all types of talent. So the cat is definitely part of this show from now on. With
Yep.
me, last time I did this, I had Tony. Today we have Derek Gott. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Everything's going good over here. Just chilling, enjoying some days off of work. Finally, uh, it's been cold, snowy, rainy. Finally, nice, semi-nice day. I guess y'all are fixing to get hit by a blizzard, huh?
Yeah, man. It started snowing already in New York, and my wife and I were out in the city, and it started snowing. I had no hat on, so I'm walking around with a bald head, and I was trying to play it cool, but at one point my freaking head got numb.
Was it steaming off the top?
Probably. According to some, there ain't much up there as far as brain matter to generate any steam, so we'll see. But anyway, we have an interesting topic. You could tell by the title of this specific episode. It's what Phil said, and it's gonna be based on some of the DirectX 12 comments he made. I know people are a little tired of hearing about DirectX 12. I certainly am, and I'm gonna speak about why, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, I want to remind everyone you can find us at talkingaboutgames.com. That is the home of the Postgame Report. And you can find our Postgame Report podcast on iTunes. And if you're there, leave us a review. Let us know and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching this particular video. It's going to be a lot shorter than the last one I did with Tony. I was just pissed off. But, all right, so Derek. Later on tonight, we're going to actually record a podcast. And we're going to talk about HoloGen or HoloLens and things of that sort. But today I want to talk about Phil Spencer, who is, what is he? Like, what's his freaking technical? He's had so many different titles, and now he's like the big boss at Xbox. So what's
I don't really know what his actual title is. Yeah, his technical title, I don't really know what it is. To me, he's kind of the Ken Kutaragi of Xbox.
Yes, he's what, well, would he be Kazurai type thing, right?
Yeah, more Kaz Hirai, I guess.
Which is who Ken Kutaragi had the position at, by the way. So, yeah, so in comparison, he's like Kazurai from the Sony camp. And he was promoted last year, I believe, after the whole debacle with, what was Matrix, not Matrix.
Yep.
I can't believe I compared them to. Anyway, so, we all know of the mess during E3. During the first E3 where the Xbox One was officially revealed. They had their own reveal before E3, but this is where the pricing and the plans for certain restrictions were revealed, and Microsoft took care of all that as we predicted, which was a great thing for Microsoft. And I still went ahead and bought an Xbox One at launch. I have a day one console. You also own an Xbox One. So,
Yeah.
even though we're multi-console owners, we feel that we have a right to talk about these consoles because we own them. There's a lot of idiots out there who don't own a particular console and still continue to bash that particular console. And in case you're wondering, yes, I have a brace on. So, Derek, DirectX 12, Phil Spencer said, he said this before and he stated it again, but he worded it differently. He's saying the obvious, that it's dependent on the developers to take advantage of DirectX 12.
Right.
Which has never been, that has never changed as far as the video game industry. We've always been dependent on what the developers are willing to do or capable of doing.
Yes.
And when I say willing to do, I should rephrase that. I should say that it depends on what the publishers are willing to let developers do.
Exactly. Yeah, what they're going to fund, what they're going to pay for.
What time frame they're willing to give them. And we know very well that there's a lot of games, Assassin's Creed Unity, that Halo Master Chief Collection, Drive Club, these games have to be out by the holidays. I could even throw Little Big Planet out there, the third one. These games have to come out by a certain point. This is strategic. They already have that strategy down packed. You know, they have to meet the busiest season of the year, or the busiest time of the year, and we got some broken games. And so we're dependent on developers to use this. So he stated that it's going to be a game-by-game basis. If developers utilize DirectX 12, we'll see a difference. If not, then we'll see what's currently available. Even if they don't utilize DirectX 12 to its fullest potential, just by the fact that developers will get experience on the Xbox One, on the PlayStation 4, and on a side note, DirectX 12 is not on the PlayStation 4. But once these developers are fully familiar with the hardware and the software tools, they're gonna make some better games, even without DirectX 12.
Right. It's DirectX 12 is an API. It handles the way your processor speaks to the graphics card, the memory, everything like that. Everything is handled. A lot of people don't realize that Sony has a comparative program called OpenGL that a lot of companies use because it's open, just like it says. It's OpenGL. Every step that DirectX 12 makes forward, OpenGL will follow right along the same way. And it was like that the last generation. It's going to be the same way this generation. The longer the developers and publishers have with these consoles, the more and more they're going to be able to optimize for one. Because if you look at the PS3, the operating system took up a lot of space and a lot of memory when it first started. By the end of the generation, the PS3 was using, I don't know, what was it saying, a fourth of what it used to use for memory, and run cycles on the cell processor. So that helps everything to run smoother, faster, better UIs. And like we've seen with the Xbox, they keep updating basically every month. They're making a little more optimization, a little more optimization, a little more. But DirectX 12 is not going to be the savior that these people are hyping, and that's bad for the image. It's not.
Well, I think
Console-wise.
Well, if you notice, Phil Spencer is not hyping this up. He's acting realistic. Now,
Right.
Phil Spencer's job is not to be a press, like a publisher, not a publisher, but he's not supposed to be a publicist, where a publicist, their job is to represent a client and just speak of the best of what that client can represent. Of course, when you look at Phil Spencer on stage, he's hyping up certain things, but not hyping them up in a way where Major Nelson is going to do it, where Phil Spencer could say exactly the same things Major Nelson says, but when Major Nelson says it, he says it in a way that he's selling you a used car, and you can smell, or it's just the different personalities, where Phil Spencer kind of comes off as a regular Joe Schmo, and that's why he's more, I guess, acceptable to a lot of people. I personally have nothing against him. I never met him. I met Major Nelson quite a few times, and even though when you look at him publicly, he might come off as a shill, he's actually not a bad dude. But when you see Phil Spencer telling you in numerous publications that it's game by game basis, he even stated, which was kind of weird, that there already are certain elements of DirectX 12 on the Xbox One.
Right.
Which is something that has never been brought up before. And if that's the case, and the Xbox One is, for example, I'm not. There are times I'll tease people about frame rates and resolution, but we got news today that The Witcher 3 right now for the PlayStation 4 is running at 60 1080p, and on the Xbox One, 60 900p. So if there's some type of DirectX 12 functionality being utilized already on the Xbox One, according to Phil Spencer, then what's wrong? Is it that studios are still not utilizing it because they have some extra power to work with? Uh, I really feel like he's letting people know to bring down their expectations and just let the cards fall. Let the cards fall where they may. Don't hype it up to be more than what it is. This is exactly the same thing that happened with Titanfall, where Titanfall was put on a pedestal, and when it came out, it was a pretty good game, but it didn't live up to that fanatical hype.
Right. Fanatical hype in this generation is actually damaging more games than it's helping. I mean, you look at Sunset Overdrive. They hyped the hell out of the game. And everybody that plays it says, yeah, it was good for 6 hours, and then they got tired of it. You know, I like to sit back and, like, I wanted to buy Dying Light, but the fact that there's no reviews on it right now, reviewers didn't get review copies, I canceled my pre-order. I wait. I'm not going to go off of hype anymore. I'm going to see real world results before I do anything. And it's the same way with Xbox One and DirectX 12, which is, I understand where Phil's coming from, because he's saying, like, hey, it's going to help, but like he's stated multiple times, and he even restated it yesterday, it's not going to double performance. You're not going to have, you know, you're not going to be all of a sudden getting 4K out of this thing in a game. You're not going to get 120 frames per second. A lot of people are mistaking that tech demo that was on PC for what's possible on the Xbox One, which it's not. It's not going to do that. It's not possible.
Well, there's a few things that we're not the almighty voice of the video game community. I truly respect the people that are viewing this video whenever they have a chance, whether they're viewing it live or after it's uploaded. I can't go out there and insult the intelligence of the people that are listening to us on PGR or viewing us on YouTube. And I personally don't know what the hell DirectX 12 is going to do, because it's not here. It's here at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the part that pisses me off most. Yes, Phil Spencer is going to talk about it if approached, and I'm sure he's sick and tired of talking about DirectX 12. But when we don't have solid information about release dates for the Xbox One, when it comes to their exclusives, we finally got a release date for Ori, the Blind Garden or something like that, and we're still waiting to hear about Quantum Break. Like, that was supposed to be released in a few months, and that definitely is not happening, because we would have seen some promotional posters, videos. I mean, that game is supposed to be huge, and there's a lot of promise. I'm looking forward to Quantum Break. But we don't have anything solid when it comes to the exclusives for the Xbox One, and all I hear from Xbox One fanatics, and I stated this with Tony, that have thousands of viewers, and they're lying to them and telling them, not even lying, they're just sidestepping the reality that there really is nothing out there on the Xbox One side of things. Now, it doesn't mean Xbox One is not going to have games. There's going to be plenty of third-party games, the same third-party games that the PlayStation 4 is going to get, and some really good indie games that's going to help carry the Xbox One till the fall. Now, maybe there's a surprise along the way. Who knows? Maybe there is. We have no idea. Right now, the only solid release date we have is for Ori. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that we have to wait till the end of 2015 to supposedly see the real potential of the Xbox One. I find that disturbing as an Xbox One owner, and whenever I bring that up, I'm instantly called a Sony pony, which is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Yep.
Or a hater. No, I'm not a fucking hater. I'm a realist. I'm a consumer.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money.
You spent your money. You spent your money on it. I spent my money on it. I'm not going to lie to a listener or a friend. I'm going to be honest and tell them my experience with it. There are times I do enjoy my Xbox One, and there are times that I sit there and look at it and go, I should have bought a PC instead of this Xbox One, because I'd be using it more right now. But, I'm not going to I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I never have. I never will. There's problems with the PS4. There's problems with the Xbox One. It all just goes down to what your personal preference is, but I'm not going to lie to people. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. You eventually lose all respect. And now, the reason why I titled it what Phil says, because I just find it hilarious where these fanatics, the chocolate chip cookie face monster, uh, the
I wore my shirt in
yeah, in
celebration of
honor
them.
of Next Gen 720 and crap blamer reviews. Those guys will take everything that Phil Spencer says or Aaron Greenberg says and amplify by 100.
Yes.
But the last few days, they will not amplify what Phil Spencer said about DX12. Why is that? I saw a video by this weird-looking dude called Iron Wolf. I mean, that dude looks like he painted eyebrows on his head or something. And he made a video and he literally said he read what Phil Spencer said a few months ago about DX12. And then he goes, but I'm telling you, the X12 will make the Xbox One more powerful than the PlayStation 4. So he doesn't believe Phil Spencer, in other words, but he knows more than Phil Spencer, even though Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox. So it's things like that. When you read something, when you pay attention to the wording, you just gotta laugh.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer, whenever you read what he's saying, he might word it differently, but he is telling people to calm down. Just let the developers do their job. I mean, we're dependent on what the developers are capable of doing. So people don't got to remember that. And who knows? Maybe we'll see the first DX12 game or DX12 utilized game on the Xbox One in 2015. Maybe we will. I hope so. It would be nice. It would be nice to finally see this thing being utilized and being demonstrated. Even if they show something at E3 and they say it's coming out in 2016, but they show it, and it's a reality, that's cool. I think that would shut a lot of people up. What do you think, Derek?
I kind of believe the same way. I want to see it in action. I want to see real world, pen to paper, coded to the machine. I want to see it actually working, running. Show me what they've been talking about for so long, so I can see it with my own eyes, so I can believe what the people are saying. Now, there's people out there like Mr. X Media that obviously can't do math and can't listen to Phil Spencer, can't listen to the little announcements they make, and they're claiming 8 times gain on this. And how are you getting 8 times the power out of what's already there? Phil Spencer said it's not going to change the RAM, it's not going to change the CPU, it's not going to change the GPU. A person asked Aaron Greenberg, will there be substantial gains to both PC and Xbox One? He said both, which the person that asked the question said substantial. All Aaron Greenberg said was both. Now it's being quoted as Aaron Greenberg saying substantial gains to the Xbox One. The media is lying to people again. The people that are running with this are lying. Be honest with people. I'll listen to Phil Spencer before I'll listen to Aaron Greenberg any day. Because one guy is a car salesman and the other guy is building cars. You're going to listen to the guy that's building the car, then you're going to listen to the guy that's going to sell you the car.
Exactly. Aaron Greenberg is in charge of third-party relations or something like that.
Yeah, he's head of marketing.
Kind of like Adam Boyles or Bowles on the Sony side. But if you listen to that, yeah, both. So he's not directly answering the question. He's giving you a general answer. And
right. If I take a sledgehammer and I smash an iron block, it's going to make a dent in it. But if I take that same sledgehammer and smash a wine glass, yeah, it affected both of them, but I didn't say, hey, it was, they're equal. So that's where people aren't reading in between the lines.
And similar to what Phil said.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the hardware. And it's a fact. You and I, we both work in technical fields.
Hmm.
Whenever we install, when I worked with Otis Elevators, we used to program EEPROM chips so that for specific buildings to do specific things. Uh, we had uh, we replaced logic relay logic with solid state, which made life easier for elevator techs to do
Right.
troubleshooting, to change boards, and all that stuff. But the equipment was the same. So the equipment is still rated for the same weight, for the same speed, and even though we have more efficient software and at some point some a little more efficient hardware, the brunt of the whole structure was exactly the same.
Yep.
So that's basically what Phil Spencer is saying. Nothing no, on the Xbox One. There's no secret double stack GPU. And believe me, I own one. I would love that to happen.
Same here. Same here.
But if the truth is the truth, and people will listen to what they want to listen to. People will believe what they want to believe. I joined a group called Gaming Battlegrounds just for the fun of it, and that's where trolls and are free to do their thing, and some of it is hilarious. Like some of the trolls, whether it's an Xbox troll or a PS4 troll, some of them are pretty funny. But it's funny that they banned the word DirectX 12 because that's been like the hot topic of discussion over there, which is pretty sad. I even posted there that as an Xbox One owner, I'm sick and tired of the people that are putting videos every day and hyping up the Xbox One. There's nothing wrong with that. If you own it, if that's the only console you own, you want to hype it up. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you base all of the hype on something that's coming at the end of the year, you're as I said it before, you're not using the assets you have, which are the viewers, to 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 educate them. You're not using them the way they should be used, or you're not educating them the way you should be. You're not telling
Right.
them, look, if we make noise about release dates and we let Spencer know, here's his Twitter, whatever, Aaron Greenberg's Twitter, ask them every freaking day what's coming out when. When can we expect these freaking games? Is there anything coming up? I'm a little disappointed that, we don't have blah, blah, blah coming out. As me specifically, Quantum Break. But if it's not ready, it's not ready, and I'm happy with that. But I would like to know, hey, is it still coming out of 2015? Is it not ready? I want to know something. Like, the only thing I know for sure is that Halo 5 is coming out. People keep bringing up the imaginary, and I don't know where people are getting this shit. The imaginary Marcus Phoenix collection that people swear is coming out 2015. And if that's the case, don't expect anything, like truly groundbreaking, because you're bringing out a collection extremely fast. And then what we're getting, Fable Legends at the end of the year, it seems like, and which looked pretty good. And Halo 5, we're not sure about Quantum Break. Uh, I know there's more. I know there's Cuphead, there's Ori, there's Scream Ride, if you want to include Scream Ride. Uh, I don't know. I don't have like with Sony. There's a bunch of games in between that are coming out exclusively on the PlayStation 4, but the bigger names like The Order 1886, MLB, Bloodborne. That Uncharted 4 might come out, even though Naughty Dog said it will. It might come out this year, but because it's so close to the end of the year, anything could happen. So we're going to see some big titles this year, and you can easily name them. Maybe on the Xbox One side, we have another Forza, which Forza 6. I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year. So
There's no telling with that one. I mean, I knew there was one in development, but I didn't think they would announce it so soon. Within a year of Forza 5.
yeah, and as they a few months away from Forza Horizon 2 being released, but they did that to coincide with the whole Ford lineup that was being showed at the car show and their partnership. So I guess they found it that it was more appropriate, or it was an appropriate time. But I'm sure at E3, they stated that we're going to see some gameplay at E3. Uh, so I'm hoping that Forza 6 does not come out this year, or at the very later parts of 2015, give it more development time so that they can truly utilize DX12 when that comes out, because we still need Windows 10 to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even know when X coming out. I'm sure it's coming out near October-ish or whatever, like DJ Knight said on the last episode of PGR. But that's my issue with the whole DX12 thing. Screw DX12 right now. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with that. We haven't seen much. We haven't seen anything solid being demonstrated. We saw Fable on PC, mind you, Fable Legends being run on PC, and I think maybe, I don't know. I know Phil Spencer on stage jumped on the game. I don't know, that was legitimately on an Xbox One, but what she was playing or he was playing was on PC, and they even stated that. So that actually looks like it's coming along really well. So we got to talk more about the games, man. And if there aren't any games coming out that is satisfying, and I'm talking about the exclusive side, we gotta say something about that, because that's what these consoles are all about.
I honestly think they rushed the Xbox One. I think Sony caught them off guard. I mean, everything's starting to stack up that way. If they said they built it with DirectX 12 in mind, like they said, then it's obvious they launched a year early.
That could have been. Now there's another. There are people talking about, like the Xbox One is future proof. It's the console of the future, right? But let's break that down, since you own one. All right. So the best thing I like about the Xbox One is the snap feature, which is on my Surface RT. So I even predicted that was going to come on the Xbox One, because it's so useful. It's the reason why I picked the Surface RT over the iPad. It's to give me that multi functionality. Now, what else can you think of that? Like, I wish that was on every console. So what on the Xbox One do you wish was on the PlayStation 4?
Um, definitely the snap feature, that's for sure. Because I like having the achievements, open on one side of the screen while there's nothing worse than having to pause the game, go into the menu, look at the achievements, and then go back into the game, and then try to remember what the hell you're supposed to do for that achievement. It's great to have it snapped right there. Also, some of the web pages will work on Snap, some won't. It's nice to have a little guide right there. As far as the voice command is iffy at most. It works about the same as PlayStation's does. PlayStation's, that was new for the PlayStation, was voice command. Of
Yeah,
course,
it was there from the very beginning, but it didn't have as many commands. Definitely the Xbox One has the edge with
oh
the
yeah,
voice commands.
yeah. Trying to think what else. I like the ability that you can. It goes back to Snap again, man. That you can run, you can run Pandora while you're playing your game, so you can provide your own soundtrack.
So Snap.
I'd say Snap, yeah. I mean,
Snap
and
to get on my
others.
back, or I will attack, and you won't want that.
Otherwise, I mean, everything else is kind of comparative to PlayStation. PlayStation looked at what Xbox was doing on the last gen, and they emulated that. And you see Xbox is emulating the PS4 with the remote play somewhat.
Which I was going to bring up, because a lot of guys like to talk trash that the Xbox One is the console of the future, right? It's the more advanced, right, than the PlayStation 4. So let's look at the PlayStation 4. We have PlayStation Now. We have PlayStation Game Share, which we were using yesterday. You and I were playing MLB The Show. We have, and of course, Xbox has Xbox with Gold now, games with Gold, but We had the PlayStation Plus, where you get free games every month, discounts, exclusive, timed exclusive betas and stuff like that. We have the share button, which is huge. People
Hmm.
downplay that, but yesterday, Johnny and I, we were trying to play Halo. I was like, "Yo, dude, let's go." We were playing The Last of Us multiplayer. I was like, "You know what? I want to try to play Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Let's switch over to the Xbox One." So we did that. I invited him to a party. I don't know if my mic is broken, so I can't say 100% that the party wasn't working. But it was a pain in the ass to go through all these button clicks just to do a party when it's so much easier on the Xbox 360,
Yes.
the PlayStation 4. So I gotta get credit where credit is due. Then we, he invites me to a game, to a custom game. I couldn't I couldn't connect. It kept telling me I lost connection. I kept getting disconnected. So I tried to create a custom game. He couldn't connect to me. I couldn't leave him a voice message to test out if my mic is broken, because that functionality, I'm here speaking with a slur, is not available on the Xbox One. You can't leave
Yep.
voice messages to try out your mic. That's, one way to try out, see if your mic works. And then we had to text each other by phone. He's like, "I can't get into your room, try mine," and we're texting each other back and forth. Finally, he's like, "Dude, I give up." I even recorded 5 minutes of this whole thing going on the Xbox One, and I was going to upload it and make a video. It's truly frustrating when you don't have the smooth transition from one feature to the next. Where on the Xbox 360, I was so accustomed to that. On the PlayStation 4, like you stated, they probably saw what Microsoft did, and they made everything smoother. And you look at the share. We were in a party yesterday. You, myself, and Johnny, and TG180. Four of us in a room. We're going back and forth with PlayStation Share. You and I had a game of MLB The Show going on. I can record at the same time my video. I can share an image, all by the touch of a button. It's built
Yep.
into PlayStation 4. It's not an app that you have to leave or snap to. Like, I hate snapping the game studio. It's annoying because I'm at the moment where I want to, I'm like, all right, I want to freaking record this particular part in a game on the Xbox One. With the PlayStation 4, I'm just so used to double tapping the share button. Here, I got to snap the fucking game studio, and if I want more than 30 seconds, and that's what she said, I have to have it record for 5 minutes. I have to manually do that. If I say Xbox record that, it only records 30 seconds. So that's annoying because you want it to be seamless, and that's where the PlayStation 4 right now it's at. And people like to leave that out when they attempt to say that the Xbox One is future proof or it's the console, the most advanced console, blah blah blah. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. The PlayStation 4 is not perfect by any means of the imagination. There are still things that need to be worked on. But when you look at the community aspect, the sharing, the ability to take a screenshot, which you can't do on the Xbox One yet, voice messages, I could leave you a voice message from my phone, dude. How many times you left me Pitbull songs?
Multiple times.
Yeah, from your phone to my freaking PlayStation Network
Yep.
account. Or I send you a picture from my PlayStation 4 to your phone. I mean, it's just the facts are there. The PlayStation 4 was, Mark Cerny, who is a developer, helped to develop what we see on the PlayStation 4, and it's user friendly, it's developer friendly. Xbox is getting there. Xbox One is getting there, but it's still not there. And that is the thing that I dislike about some of these retards who are just extremely fanatical, that are extremists, and they want you to believe that the Xbox One is perfect. It's not perfect. We need to let the developers know their games are not perfect. we need to let Microsoft know, hey, you still got some work to do with our Xbox One. Same thing with Sony. They still got some work to do with the PlayStation 4.
Mhm.
But you don't hear them saying, listen, we have this ICE team that's developing an SDK. You should be hyped for it. It's coming out sometime this year. No, that's not what they're doing. Letting the games do the talking and letting
Yep.
the features do the talking. So,
There is with the
go ahead.
Xbox One. I use it more for, to be honest with you, I use it as more like a home theater PC. I use it for apps. Like I watch Twitch on there. Granted, I'll use live from PlayStation on the PS4, and I'll watch Twitch and Ustream from there. But I can watch people playing Twitch on the PC on the Xbox Twitch app. I use that for that. I use it for Netflix a lot because I get achievements just for watching Netflix too, which is kind of stupid. But hey, it's working. It's getting me to use it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I use it for my HBO Go, stuff like that. That's what I use. My gameplay on the Xbox One is probably 1/5 of what my app usage is on there. I use it for Vine. I use it for, stuff like that. I like it for that. But then I like the PS4 for the what is that? The Share Studio thing on there, where you can every video I have pretty much on my YouTube was made, edited, voice recorded, special effects added, music added directly from my PS4 without even touching a computer. That's the power in that part of it, which is amazing.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. And you look at, yeah, you speak of Share Factory. I can plug in my USB microphone and use that to do voice commentary. Whereas on the Xbox One, we have to buy an additional adapter just to plug in a third-party headset, and that is freaking ridiculous. I don't know how much it costs now. It was $25, but
it's 35 now.
really
It went up $10.
35.
Yeah, yeah, it's $35 for the chat adapter. Last time I checked.
Wow. Out of principle, I am not buying that shit because that is not how you treat your damn user base. You don't purposely develop uh, uh, what they call it, a proprietary connector. So, and then you know that your fans or your user base on your previous machine went and bought all types of expensive headsets.
Well, to
Just
be
put it in.
devil's advocate, Sony did the same thing with people that bought a G27 steering wheel.
Oh
They
yeah,
paid
yeah,
$400 for a USB steering wheel, and now the son of a bitch doesn't work on the PS4. But yet
yeah,
well, here, buy this Thrustmaster wheel that magically works on the PS4 now.
yeah. But
I mean,
that's more of a niche
yeah.
audience. Like we're talking about the general public who went out and bought Astros and went out and bought Turtle Beach, even the Skull Candy, or like I can't even use like the beats I have on now. I can use them on my PlayStation 4 controller.
hmm
I can't do that on the Xbox One, and my Xbox One headset might be broken, so I might have to get the same flimsy headset. Now, granted, when it comes to chat, audio quality from the chat, it's better on the Xbox One. I find it to be very clear, and they hype that up, and it's been living up to that. So it's embarrassing that I have to continue to use that flimsy default microphone, and I can't just plug in any microphone that I want.
I'll send you the link.
That's
I
fine.
think I might have sent it to you where you can solder in your own 3.5 millimeter headphone jack into
Yeah,
that thing. And
yeah,
the community did that and spread it all around because the community was like, "Hey, if they're gonna charge us for an adapter, we're gonna make our own." That's what I love about gaming communities is if you piss them off enough, they're gonna find a way around and they're gonna share it, and which is why I'm part of gaming communities.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've opened up my Xbox One controller. I've opened up the PlayStation 4 controller. I can change the batteries on the PlayStation 4 if I want. I already switched over the thumbsticks. I bought a pair of Xbox One thumbsticks to put on a PlayStation 4 to try that out for a while, and then I decided to try something different. And what I did was, if you notice, you see the height difference?
Yeah, you did one of the Xbox and one of the PlayStation.
Yes. So I tried that for a little while, and it works a lot better because when I had both of them on, uh, this is design. Everything here is designed purposely. So you see the home button. When I had both thumbsticks from the Xbox One on, it's set a little higher. So getting to the home button, the start and the share was a little odd. I had a kind of like where with the default thumbstick, because it's slower and flatter, you could get to it a lot quicker. With the taller thumbstick, I had to kind of maneuver around it and get accustomed to that height. So I figured I'd have one offset, and this way with my right thumb, I can get to everything a little better. Even the X button, no, the square button, because when it was sitting higher, getting to the square button was a little. It took more getting used to.
You couldn't just roll your thumb over like that when it was too high.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, these controllers are designed. Even the Xbox One, they're designed purposely for that type of uh, control stick height. I mean height. So when you mess with them, you're messing with the original design. So I figured I'd do that, and um, because we tell it like it is, one of my controllers on the left hand side, the rubber was coming off, and I was looking at it, and I was like, damn, this thing must have absorbed sweat or something because it just looks so shiny than the other controller, where even though it's older, it's still in great shape. Um, so that the rubber was coming off at the corner, and I was like, all right, well, I have extra uh, control analog sticks, and I'll just try this experiment, and it's been working.
Mine did the same thing. It was the first batch of rubber that they put on there was bad,
He
and
told me.
Sony admitted it. They were replacing controllers if you send it in. I
Yes.
figured, hell, I'll just get the little $4 silicone cap. I'm not going to send in my controller and waste time. And what if they send me a broken one back? I don't want a refurbished controller. I know the one I have works fine. It's just a cosmetic issue. I'll put a cap over it, or I'll replace the stick myself. You know.
Yeah, remember that whole all that speculation that the PS4 is being sabotaged at the assembly at the manufacturing plant?
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe they were being sabotaged with the. I don't know. It's unfortunate, and we've stated it on PGR that is bullshit that we have to worry about thumbsticks or analog sticks wearing out.
Hmm.
And uh, I hate to say it, but the controller on the PS4 is to me more comfortable, more intuitive than the Xbox One version. But uh, I will give the edge to the thumbsticks on the Xbox One.
Yeah,
And
they're all one solid piece. There's no rubber coating.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
like built into it. It's with one solid hard plastic.
Yeah, it collects a lot of like gunk and shit, but hey, because the left analog stick is constantly moving in most games, I prefer that I put it on that side. So
Yeah.
a little lesson learned on the post game report. You hear a lot of shit here. Um, now, quickly before we wrap things up, Derek, and we'll get your opinion on the Windows 10 event. So I don't want to waste that because we're going to get your opinion on PGR later on tonight. Let's talk about the Order 1886, which finally received an official trailer. Did you get a chance to check out that trailer?
No, and I'm not. I saw enough at the PlayStation Experience event in the theaters that I'm actually going to go in blind on this one. I'll listen to reviews and stuff like that, but I don't want to spoil the gameplay for me. I've seen enough. When the dude was crawling backwards and that lichen, the werewolf, was chasing him, that sold me right there, man. The fluidity, the movement. I'm not looking at it as a game with a lot of replayability. I'm looking at it as I mean, if I pay $60 for the game and it gives me 10 to 12 hours of story and enjoyment and keeps me enthralled the whole time, then it's worth it. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly. That's how we used to play video games, by the way. We
right?
a game that didn't have multiplayer, that didn't have co-op. We played it, we enjoyed it, and we every once in a while we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, smaller websites, that for some reason are like predicting major failure with the Order 1886, or that it's just another QTE fest of whatever. And it's like, you know what? There hasn't been much shown about the Order 1886, and that's a good thing. They're not spoiling anything. We're all universally trying to find out more about this game, but they're making us wait, just like the old days, just
Right.
like the old days. They're keeping us. If you watch the trailer, you see certain things that you didn't know were there or possible, and they put more info, but not too much. And I'm hoping that the trailer doesn't outdo the actual game. I'm still skeptical, but it does look gorgeous. And it does seem to have, if you look at the AR site, I don't know if you've been there, theorderexposed.com, they have an alternate reality little story thing going on there with a few videos and things of that sort. And it really builds the anticipation for this game because Sony's doing something a little extra to get you to get your blood flowing. And granted, this game is not coming out till February 20th, I believe.
Yeah.
So still, we'll start seeing more PR stuff, more advertisement as release gets closer. But right now, they're giving you just enough to keep you interested, and that's a good thing. So there's hope for the Order 1886. I'm gonna get it, but I don't know if I should get it unless all the sites change their methods and say, all right, it works. There's no patch and everything works as intended. Then I'll pick it up right away. If not, I'll wait. And I
Yeah.
haven't pre-ordered it because of that. So I'm gonna wait. There's a 50-50 chance that I'll wait till like maybe a few days after everybody plays it. I believe the 20th is on a Friday or something. So that gives me if it I believe it's on a Friday. Let me double check. But let's say it is on a Friday. That gives me Saturday to wait, and then I could pick it up Sunday. I don't know. We'll see because we talk a lot of shit, but then when the game comes out and everybody's talking about it, we run out and buy it right away. So
I'm going to try and do the same I did with The Last of Us. I missed The Last of Us last generation, and I kept wanting to get around to playing it, and I never. You know how tempting it is to look up the ending of a game or the storyline of a game on YouTube, right? So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I said one of these days I'll just buy it, And come around, PS4 came around, and they said, hey, we're re-releasing it, and I got it, and I was able to actually play through that game and just be amazed from beginning to end. And I want that same experience with the Order 1886. Because remember when you were a kid, you'd buy a game, you'd read the back of the box the whole way home. You'd be sitting there on the way home, like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it was, you were either completely impressed when you put it in and played the game, or you were really pissed off and mad because the game didn't match up to the box. It was. I want to feel that again in gaming, because I think we spoil ourselves too much nowadays.
it's true, and we expect like everything to be revealed on previews and community events and things of that sort. I'm glad they're doing it old school. That could mean that there's not much to the game, or it could mean that there's surprises
Yep.
throughout the entirety of its campaign. So we'll see. But we're gonna wrap it up. Um, as always, I thank the viewers that are viewing our live stream. If you're viewing it after it goes off air, I appreciate you taking the time to view this video. If you're interested in anything we talked about, please leave your comments below. And if you haven't done so, leave me a thumbs up, like the video, and subscribe if you feel like it. And subscribe to Derek Gott's channel. What's your channel, dude?
Derek Gott 007.
There you go. And don't forget, if you haven't listened to the Post Game Report podcast, you can find us on iTunes. We have a very interesting cast, off the wall characters, and we're blunt, we're honest, we're consumers. We get pissed when we have to. We praise and congratulate things when it's warranted. We're just not a bunch of fanboys creating hype and creating fairy tales when they don't exist. We're just the average Joe, bust our ass working. We have families, we have careers, and we love video games, so we have that in common as well. And you love video games as well, so that's why you're watching or listening. So we're not going to cheat you out of anything. And if you disagree, you hit us up, and we'll discuss it or even have you on the show. I do that all the freaking time. So, check out the post game report. You might like it. But until next time, I'm JVB. That's Derek Gott. and we'll see you and speak to you during the next video. So enjoy those video games. Later.